Okay, morning guys. Okay, morning guys.
How do you know they can hear you?
Alright, let's get started. Alright, the week kicked off with surprisingly strong US retail sales numbers, which pointed to a decent start for the quarter in underlying consumer spending. Not that the S&P needs any help, but another decent session. Coming out of negative territory and ending positive last night. Stocks ended the day flat as the positive news countered any potential profit taking at record high levels. And out of Asia this morning, Asian shares are trading mixed, with Chinese stocks falling the most in 3 weeks as concern grew that the government is introducing more property restrictions to limit gains in housing prices. This morning, Life Healthcare came out with earnings, headline earnings per share up 20% to 71 cents a share. That was for the first half. Expected was 83 cents, but I think that is an annualized number, so I'm not sure if that is actually a miss. And then the dividend was 50 cents per share. Nothing was expected on Bloomberg, but again, we're not 100% sure if there was anything expected. So we're not going to put too much on weight on this, and we'll see how it trades before we make any decisions. Lonmin was raised to a buy versus sell at SocGen, but also at Lonmin, AMC members started a strike after a death of a worker. NUM spokesman came out with that news, so we'll see how that plays out today. Again, a positive that it's upgraded, but obviously worries over this pending strike. Key factors today: Japanese domestic CGPI came in at 0%, a slight beat. We've got CPI, most of the Eurozone. Germany's already out. They came in as expected at 1.2%. We have Spanish and Italian still to come out later. At 9:30 we have EU finance ministers meeting in Brussels. And then at 11 o'clock, ZEW economic sentiment survey out of Germany. Nothing out of the States later on this afternoon, so pretty light. Nothing much out later today. All right, let's have a look at a few charts. Let's start off with spot gold. It was one we were looking at yesterday. Okay, so this is one we were watching. We're watching this 1440 level pretty closely for a breakdown. Yesterday it closed well below there, and I see this morning it's bounced, trading at 1442. So it's slightly above that level. We're going to continue to monitor this closely. I was actually quite surprised at the lack of volatility yesterday after the breakdown. I would have thought that there would be some nervous holders of gold, but it did trade. Even though it broke below that level, it traded reasonably stable. And it's bouncing this morning, so we're going to continue to monitor this level as well as watch the gold shares that we showed yesterday: Anglo Gold, Goldfields, Harmony. I'm not going to show those charts again, but they're all in sort of vulnerable territory for breakdown. We'll continue to watch the gold price to give us an idea of what's going to happen on those stocks. The other ones that we showed yesterday, while we're on the precious metals, we'll have a quick look at Amplats. Big breakdown, bit of a capitulation sell-off yesterday. It closed off its lows at 313. It got to as low as 304. I wouldn't like to make a recommendation on these. They've had their big blow-off. I'm not sure whether that's going to lead to a little bit of a bounce here, but until further notice, I guess we've got to just be selling these things on bounces on any sign of weakness. Same thing on Impalas. Big capitulation sell-off. We showed this one yesterday. Broke to new lows and then continued down yesterday. We've had a 10% move, or more than 10% probably, in the last couple of days. It's been quite a spectacular sell-off here, and we were, Joe's comments last week, showed us, well, he showed us that it was that there was no bounce in it, even though the other resources had bounced, and it was just a matter of time before the sell-off resumed. Right, let's have a quick look at US dollar ZAR, another one we've been watching over the last couple of months. A really solid uptrend. This one has been a buy on every time it tests this level. Right now we're at 916. If we look at the top of this trend, we're looking at a potential target into 950. So a lot more downside for the rand in the short term, I would imagine. Right now we sort of a third of the way, I guess, through the channel. So it might not be that obvious, but I think we've got to continue buying dips until we get to that short-term target. If we have a quick look at the Aussie. The Aussie came out of the blocks yesterday. Quite surprisingly, it was very well bid despite the weak commodity prices. It's broken out above this 36,000 again, looking like it's heading higher. If we have a look at the 30-minute chart, we had this consolidation from the move up to 36.2, I guess 36.2.5 intraday. Consolidated downwards, and it's now broken out as of yesterday and moving higher. The previous high on a intraday basis was at 36.244. I would imagine it will get there and probably exceed that, if not today, in the days coming. Okay, let's have a quick look at Discovery. All right, Discovery, I just wanted to show this one. It's made a new high again. I was hoping for a little more of a pullback on this breakout, but we didn't quite get a test of the breakout level. But in a case like this, on such a strong stock, when it breaks out from a good consolidation, you've just really got to look for the first indication of a reversal, which happened over here on the 8th of May, and we've just gone higher since then. I think we've reached the target of this this almost an inverse head and shoulders breakout, continuation breakout, and again 52-week highs and all-time highs have buying them on the break has been the play, and so I would expect the juggernaut to continue on Discovery. While we're on that topic, let's have a look at Woolies, another extremely strong one. We had the breakout from this big sideways pattern. Again, I was hoping for a little more of a breakout, pullback to buy on. We showed this one yesterday. We're looking at around the 71.5 level. Yesterday we had a small pullback, in the last few days, and yesterday we had that reversal up. I don't think we're going to get to retest that level. So if we look at a 30-minute chart here, there's the reversal, and it looks like we're going to be just heading higher. Let's just go back to that daily chart again. As you can see, we've got a much higher target here, 72 to, let's call it 62. So we're looking at about 82 as our target. Looks like we're going to be continuing towards that in the near term. And then another one we showed yesterday, breweries, similar. We've had that breakout. Also had a pullback, not quite getting to test the breakout point, but reversing off pretty close to it. Again, a much higher target. I think the target here is probably call it 32, into the 520s. So still some upside here for breweries. I like this one, especially if the rand starts weakening more. We've had that reversal. It's probably time to buy. And then very similarly, we have Old Mutual, also a rand hedge, which adds to its attractiveness. We had this pattern that has broken out from it ramped higher from that sort of the 29.20 breakout level. Got pretty close to the target, has pulled back. I think if we measure this pattern, we've got 230. So we've got about 31.30 as our target. Right now we're sitting at 30.30, so probably a quick rand to be made out of this one if we get a little more strength in the market. I like this one as well. It's one of my favorite ones to buy on pullbacks. Then let's have a look at Anglos quickly. We showed this chart in Anglos yesterday. We were looking for the bottom of this range for support. It hit that level exactly and reversed off. It actually was pretty lackluster for most of the day, and it only really when all the markets started pushing higher did it eventually push and end off its lows at 222. I still don't recommend buying it. But there is a possibility that it makes its way back up to the top of this channel. If it doesn't and it breaks this support line, then we can look for some more weakness in the short term. And then while we're looking at Anglos, let's have a quick look at Billy's. Billy's has obviously outperformed Anglos by quite substantially. It's reached a bit of an inflection point here at 273, and it reversed off that level. It's quite a big reversal candle. Yesterday didn't do much. I think they're marginally up in Aussie this morning. We'll see what happens with these large cap miners, but it's showing a little bit of a reversal. If you see weakness, there is some more downside potential. So it's possible to get a short on that, but I wouldn't short it unless you see that weakness coming in. And last one, let's have a look at a bank, ABSA. Same thing. It's transitioned to a bit of a downtrend. A bit of a bear flag forming. We had that big reversal yesterday, traded decently. If we look at a 30-minute chart, here's the bear flag, and it broke down from it, and it's consolidating underneath. I'd say if we get a break below 150, then we could have this downtrend resume. But in general, the banks have been a buy and pullback. So I'm a little bit nervous to say this one for sure, but I'd prefer it on the short side if it breaks below 150. And that's all for today, guys. Thanks a lot. Good luck.